His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Ghudaybiyah Palace. The cabinet extended its congratulations to His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa on the upcoming Hijri New Year, wishing Bahrain and all Arab and Islamic nations further progress and prosperity. In implementation of His Majesty's royal order to preserve the historical and cultural identity of Bahrain's buildings and cities, His Royal Highness directed the relevant authorities to establish a comprehensive plan to develop the historical areas of the Manama Souk to preserve its historical and cultural identity in line with infrastructure requirements, in line with His Majesty's directives and Bahrain's presidency of the 33rd Arab Summit. The cabinet recognized the importance of monitoring the recent developments and military escalations on the Lebanese-Israeli border. The cabinet stressed the imperative of avoiding military escalation and preventing the conflict from expanding in the region in order to safeguard Lebanon and achieve regional peace and stability. The cabinet emphasized the importance of relevant authorities to continue combating human trafficking in order to protect the rights of workers and employers and further solidify the kingdom's position through developing labor market procedures. This follows the kingdom achieving Tier 1 status in the U.S. State Department's Trafficking in Persons report for the 7th consecutive year. The cabinet emphasized that this achievement reflects the visions and aspirations of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness to establish fairness and provide an environment that safeguards workers' and employers' rights. The cabinet directed the relevant authorities to monitor and facilitate the needs and requirements of the areas during Ashura to ensure its success. The cabinet then approved the following: a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance regarding the annual report and audited financial statements of the Unemployment Insurance Fund; a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance regarding the Kingdom's contributions and participation in international organizations; a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the government's response to a draft law, and 3 proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives, as well as a law submitted by the Shura Council; a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding an MOU between the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning of Bahrain and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development of China to strengthen housing cooperation as part of bilateral collaboration for the Belt and Road Initiative; a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding an MOU on comprehensive cooperation in intellectual property and an MOU on fast-track patent examination between the Ministry of Industry and Commerce of Bahrain and the Korean Intellectual Property Office in Korea; and a memorandum submitted by the Minister of Municipalities, Affairs and Agriculture regarding the acquisition of several properties to be used for the public benefit of urban development. The cabinet then reviewed a memorandum submitted by the Minister of Works regarding the most prominent performance and achievement indicators of the Council for regulating the practice of engineering professions for 2023. The cabinet then took note of the following ministerial reports: the outcomes of participation in the St. Petersburg's International Legal Forum, the outcomes of the official visit of the Minister of Industry and Commerce to Washington, and the external participation of ministers and the visits of foreign delegations to Bahrain in July 2024. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a written letter from the Malaysian monarch, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim bin Al-Marhum Sultan Iskandar, inviting His Majesty to attend the coronation ceremony of His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim as King of Malaysia. The letter was received on behalf of His Majesty the King by the personal representative of His Majesty the King, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, during His Highness's reception of a Malaysian delegation headed by the Malaysian Minister of Communications, Fahmi Fadl, who is on a visit to the kingdom, where he conveyed the greetings and appreciation of the Malaysian monarch to His Majesty the King King and his wishes of progress and prosperity for Bahrain and its people. During the meeting, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah welcomed the delegation and asked them to convey the greetings of His Majesty the King and his wishes of abundant health, happiness and success to the Malaysian monarch and of further growth and development for the Malaysian people. His Highness hailed the deep-rooted historical relations between the two countries and the continuous growth in all fields for the interests of their people. For his part, the Minister of Communications expressed thanks and appreciation for the warm welcome and generous hospitality the delegation received, which demonstrates the strong ties between Bahrain and Malaysia. Bapco Energies announces the signing of a strategic partnership agreement with Total Energies Group in the field of petroleum products trade. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Bapco Energies, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended the signing ceremony hosted by Total Energies in Paris in the presence of the Minister of Oil and Environment and Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Daina, and a number of senior officials. His Highness affirmed that signing this agreement is in line with the visions of His Majesty the King and the aspirations of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for the energy sector of the kingdom. His Highness praised the efforts exerted for this agreement, which is considered one of the most important strategic initiatives implemented by Bapco Energies as part of a series of plans and programs to develop the energy, oil and gas sectors in the kingdom, which enhances the competitiveness of the group on a global level. His Highness pointed out that this strategic partnership will receive great attention for its important role in empowering Bapco Energies and its companies and will open up new and sustainable horizons for development in the coming years. Under the patronage of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the Bahrain Ship Repairing and Engineering Company, Basrek, celebrated its 60th anniversary. The event was attended by the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Isa bin Salman Educational Charitable Trust and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Tamkeen, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Highness highlighted the unwavering support provided by His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to the kingdom's industrial sector. He emphasized the kingdom's commitment to further developing the sector, noting its importance in furthering economic diversification efforts in line with Bahrain's Economic Vision 2030. His Highness outlined the progress witnessed by the kingdom's industrial sector, attributing it to the efforts of the skilled Bahraini workforce. He added that the sector's advancement contributes to Bahrain's overall development and reflects the kingdom's standing on the regional and global levels. His Highness extended his congratulations to the employees of Basrek and noting their wide-ranging achievements over the past 60 years and wished them success in their future endeavors. As part of the celebrations, Basrek revealed its new logo and branding, and the company showcased its new floating dock, which has double the capacity of the previous one, showing commitment to enhancing its service capabilities. The chairman of the board, Fawzi Ahmed Kanu, stated that this historic moment represents a source of pride and honor for every member of the company and everyone who contributed to building this pioneering entity in the field of ship repairing and engineering in the kingdom. The CEO of Basrek, John Robson, said that the company built a reputation across the Middle East as a leader in the marine engineering sector, delivering innovative and distinctive marine services. He added that since 1962, Basrek has grown to become a leading provider of innovative and comprehensive marine services, known for its commitment to quality, safety and customer satisfaction. The chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Isa bin Salman Educational Charitable Trust and chairman of the Board of Directors of Tamkeen, Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, attended the demo day for the 9th edition of the Young Entrepreneurs Mashroui program, through which finalists of the program are set to receive grants to fund their projects. His Highness emphasized the importance of creativity, innovation and adoption of new technologies to achieve labour market requirements and enhance the role of the private sector in the kingdom's comprehensive development, led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and supported by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Highness highlighted the various programs contributing to the development of the entrepreneurship sector and providing an environment that fosters creativity to support Bahrainis' economic growth and create promising opportunities for Bahraini citizens. His Highness expressed pride in the innovative ideas and projects presented which are in line with the kingdom's development aspirations and wished the qualifiers success in the next stages of the program. He also affirmed the commitment of the people of Bahrain to utilizing innovation and new technologies and entrepreneurship to raise the level of efficiency and quality of several services and improve productivity and broaden developmental goals towards achieving excellence and success. The Young Entrepreneur Program was introduced by Tamkeen to cater to Bahraini young people aged between 18 and 35 who have entrepreneurial ideas or already run a startup. The program offers training and advisory support that includes boot camps and guidance from mentors and entrepreneurship experts. The finalists receive financial grants to help the launch of their business ventures and enable them to succeed through the early stages of their projects. Since the launch of its first edition, the program greatly contributed to enhancing and developing many startups in Bahrain, providing entrepreneurs with the knowledge and expertise required to expand their business across a wide range of sectors and in alignment with the market requirements. This program is part of Tamkeen's ongoing efforts to develop the private sector by supporting enterprises and boosting productivity through the adoption of technology. These initiatives then drive economic impact and sustainable growth, which are both central to Tamkeen's strategic priorities for 2024. This is in addition to increasing economic participation through employment opportunities for new market entrants and also expanding career development opportunities available to the Bahraini workforce. In the presence of the Minister of Education, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak Jum'a, the ministry organized the closing ceremony of the season of school sports tournaments and activities for the academic year 2023-2024. The minister commended the efforts made in organizing all school sports events, activities, programs and competitions throughout the school year. He thanked those in charge of the ceremony from the Physical Education Directorate at the ministry and the supporting sectors. He praised the support of sponsors and government institutions which raised the level of sporting activities, expanding the circle of students benefiting from them and prepared them to compete in local, regional and international competitions. A film was screened during the ceremony on the most prominent sports activities, competitions and tournaments in the past academic year and the most important developments. The minister then honored government institutions, sponsors and committees. The president of the Survey and Land Registration Bureau SLRB, engineer Bassem Al-Hamar, made an official visit to the Dubai Land Department in the UAE. The president met with the acting director general of Dubai Land Department, engineer Marwan bin Ghleta, where they discussed means of further enhancing cooperation in the field of real estate regulation and registration. Al-Hamar and the accompanying delegation were briefed on the department's tasks and operations and its pioneering experience in the field of real estate services. The SLRB president also visited one of the customer services centers to review the services provided and the procedures followed. He was also briefed on the department's experience in comprehensive digital transformation, information integration, and data exchange with various government and private agencies. The King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence launched a joint postgraduate diploma on peaceful coexistence in cooperation with the United Nations University for Peace and the Joya Higher Education Institute in Malta. The chairman of the board of trustees of the center, Sheikh Dr. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, affirmed that the launch of the program is part of the center's initiatives guided by the vision of His Majesty the King and supported by the government headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He added that the initiative aims to promote the culture of peace and reinforce the values of tolerance, understanding and dialogue among all religions, cultures and civilizations.
Since the establishment of the King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence, it has played a major pioneering role in devoting noble humanitarian values and enhancing the role of education and media and building a conscious generation committed to the culture of dialogue and ending conflicts and rejecting hatred, and solidarity for a better future for humanity that enjoys security, harmony, peace, and sustainable prosperity through several global programs and initiatives, the most recent of which is the Center's launch of the Joint Postgraduate Diploma for Peaceful Coexistence in cooperation with the United Nations University for Peace and the Joya Foundation for Higher Education in Malta. This academic program will accept 50 students from the Kingdom of Bahrain and various parts of the world and will include classes presented via video communication technology, in addition to in-person classes in the Kingdom to learn about Bahrain's model for peaceful coexistence. The program affirms the achievements of the Kingdom of Bahrain in this field and is supervised and presented by a group of international experts and heads and directors of international organizations. The program represents an activation of the Memorandum of Understanding signed last March between the King Hamad Global Center and the University of Peace to enhance cooperation in the fields of security, peace, tolerance, human rights, religious freedoms, and sustainable development.
The Secretary General of the National Initiative for Agricultural Development, Sheikh Marwan bin Isa Al Khalifa, announced during a press conference held by the initiative the launch of the Bahrain International Garden Show next February, to be held at the exhibition World Bahrain. The Bahrain International Garden Show is considered one of the leading exhibitions to shape the future of sustainable agriculture in the kingdom. Sheikh Marwan announced the allocation of a larger space for the Farmers Market Pavilion, which will allow more local farmers to participate and interact with visitors, highlighting Bahraini agricultural products and facilitating consumers' access to them. The Labour Market Regulatory Authority (LMRA) announced the launch of electronic services for domestic employee permits, which gives employers the ability to complete transactions electronically through the expatriate management system without the need to visit the authority, while maintaining the option to apply in person at any of its branches for those who wish to do so. The CEO of the LMRA, Nibras Talib, stated that the step comes as part of the authority's commitment to continuously enhance the quality of services provided in line with the government's efforts in streamlining government processes. He noted that employers will be able to complete all operations related to domestic employees and pay fees using debit or credit cards. The National Bureau for Revenue (NBR) calls on all VAT payers to update their contact details registered on the NBR portal to ensure they receive all important updates and notifications. Maintaining accurate contact details will help the NBR provide the best possible service to achieve maximum transparency while ensuring ongoing communication to facilitate smooth procedural operations. The NBR clarified that the contact person should be either the owner of the entity, the authorized signatory, or an authorized employee working within the same entity. The Speaker of the Arab Parliament, Adel Al-Soumi, delivered a speech before the Arab Parliamentary Conference on Technology and Economics, which was held in the Jordanian capital, Amman. He affirmed that Bahrain has made tangible achievements in the field of digital transformation and AI as a result of the directives of His Majesty the King and with the support of the government headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. The Speaker added that Bahrain is moving forward at a steady pace to benefit from AI in all sectors and has taken the initiative to do so until it has become the first in the Gulf to implement an experiment with the new basic principles of AI in several areas.